was Tuesday, June 5th, 2012. I had just finished 7th grade. I couldn't wait to indulge in all of the usual summer activities, including swimming, hanging out with friends, and a family vacation. I had a standard checkup appointment with my pediatrician at Mayo Clinic. 3 things were on the list to tell the doctor about: my allergy to cats, a vaccine I was hesitant about receiving, and the last thing on my list was an unusual leg problem. I couldn't bend my leg all the way back. The doctor suspected it as some type of cartilage issue in my knee. My pediatrician told me to move my leg in several positions and show her where it hurt. She did not see anything abnormal. She thought it was probably nothing, so she ordered an x-ray to be on the safe side. My mom and I rode the elevator down to the x-ray department. Caitlyn, the technician, said as she ushered us back so I could change into a gown. After the x-ray of my leg, the nurse took us out so I could change again. My mom and I drove home suspecting nothing more than a small issue, and maybe some exercise would help, and I would be as good as new. A few minutes after we got home, we got a call from the doctor. My mom knew immediately something was wrong. Doctors don't call to tell you your x-ray is normal. When we arrived at the clinic again, the doctor quietly took us inside the room. She showed us the x-ray on the computer screen, and my mom inhaled sharply. The pediatrician, with tears in her eyes, softly told us about the mass they had discovered on the x-ray. She told us she knew it was a lot to take in for us. My mom was crying so hard, and I went into shock. I don't remember that much about the next few hours, but I know the next few days were filled with lots and lots of crying, as my family tried to console each other and me. Then came MRIs, bone scans, CAT scans, blood work, and numerous other scans, needles, and more tears. Biopsy was performed after 3 days of scans. The oncologist at Mayo Clinic diagnosed the mass as osteosarcoma, a bone cancer that occurs mostly in children and teens. My family and I were devastated. I remember crying for days and weeks afterwards. I kept thinking that maybe everything was a dream and that I was going to wake up. I never woke up. The situation grew worse when the scan showed 3 areas in my lungs that could have possibly been the spread of the disease. I underwent a bilateral thoracotomy, which was extremely painful and invasive. I remember almost nothing about the surgery because I was on very heavy narcotics for the pain. The pain doctor from anesthesia always stopped by to make sure they were controlling the pain. He was so nice. The areas were tested and proved to be normal and not cancer. I was relieved. Doctors let me recover from the surgery, and then we received the terrible news from the orthopedic doctors. The best way to save my life was to amputate my leg above the knee. This was the hardest part of the news we received. I was angry, confused, and downright terrified. Little did I know, God had a plan for me. He knew what was going to happen. I underwent the dreaded surgery, and I remember not wanting to look at my new leg, but little by little, with the help of my psychologist, I finally saw it. Slowly, I recovered from 2 major surgeries in 1 month. Unfortunately, the tumor the doctor removed was tested as 5 to 10% aggressive cells, which meant 7 months of chemotherapy. I was very angry and upset. I didn't want to lose my hair, but I knew it was the only way to save my life. With a lot of praying and mental preparation, I started chemotherapy on July 27th at 2:20 p.m. I finished chemotherapy on December 16th at 8:03 p.m. I've since been cancer-free. The nurses, oncologists, and orthopedic surgeons and staff were wonderful. They all treated me with so much compassion and respect. One of the men at the entrance to St. Mary's Hospital who helped me out of the car and brought a wheelchair for me would always smile and say, "Good day, tomorrow will be better, let's get you in from the cold weather." I remember so many times at Mayo where the nurses who didn't have me as a patient knew me by name. The oncologist would smile at me every day and were always positive, and even the very nice lady in housekeeping would remember to use a different cleaning solution on the floor because the one she would normally use would make me sick. The nurses always made sure they had a sensitive skin dressing available when accessing my port. The nurse at the clinic desk would love to see me hop/dance over to the scale. She was so sweet to me, along with so many people who helped me at Mayo Clinic. The Child Life program would come in my room while I was sick and provide me with games and crafts to play and make. Sometimes the highlight of my day was winning bingo and picking out a prize. I had my bad days, and each person who knew me and my struggles at Mayo took it slowly, and they understood my tears and sadness. They were never impatient, and they always took their time to show me that they cared not just about my physical needs, but my emotional ones too. One night, a sweet nurse sat down with me and just listened to me talk as I cried tears of frustration. Afterwards, I thanked her so much. I can't ever repay all those at Mayo Clinic who not only touched, but saved my life. Their kindness, love, compassion will never be forgotten. My experience at Mayo was exceptional. I have moved to Rochester about 7 years ago. How fortunate I feel to live 8 minutes from the best hospital in the world. I couldn't be more blessed and thankful to everyone who stood by me, helping me when I couldn't help myself. I want to thank the nurses who took their time to patiently wait for me when I had to build up my confidence about using an NG tube. I want to thank my physical therapist for helping me learn how to walk again, and my prosthetist who made me a new leg. I am astounded that my wonderful orthopedic surgeon took his time to explain everything that he was going to do, over and over and over again. I am very happy for everything that I was given. I never would have thought that God would guide me this way, but He is all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-loving. Of course, everything God plans is done in a specific way to affect others in a positive way. I plan to use my experience to help others going through the same thing. I'm so impressed and satisfied with my entire experience, and I want to thank everyone again who has helped me during my difficult journey. The doctors, nurses, and staff at Mayo Clinic Children's Center have a unique gift to bring smiles, care, compassion, and healing to patients in their time of need. As for myself, I'll be graduating from 8th grade next week. This summer will be nothing like last summer. I will be attending a theater camp for 2 weeks, a Catholic youth conference for 3 days, and thanks to the Mayo doctors and social workers who nominated me for Make-A-Wish, I will be celebrating my 14th birthday on the beach in Maui. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you, and thank you for saving my life. Dr. Will and Charlie Mayo would be very proud.